Hi everyone, am I audible? Hi everyone, I hope I'm audible and visible to everybody. Good evening, guys. Good evening, guys. Am I perfectly audible to all of you? Am I perfectly audible to all of you? Do let me know in the chat section, everybody. Am I perfectly audible, visible? Hi everyone, welcome to Unacademy NEET English. I'm your biology educator Ambika Sharma, and the session that today the chapter that we are going to discuss today is human health and disease. So excited? Yes? Excited? Okay, so quickly hit the like button and do let me know that how many of you have studied this earlier, how many of you find it difficult, which topics are there which you are not able to understand that much. Do let me know. Good evening, guys. Good evening. So the audio is completely fine, right? That's good. That's great. So human health and disease, and I'm planning that it will take around 6 to 7 hours, not more than that. This chapter is mainly a theoretical chapter, right? You have to remember the causative agents of various diseases, even the symptoms. And I'll be very specific here when it comes to the symptom. Yes, you can just simply follow the NCERT, number one. Number two is the another important portion of this particular chapter is immunity. And when you talk about the immunity part, that is something that you have to understand as well. The differences in active or passive immunity, different types of antibodies, epitope, paratop. These are the terms that we are going to complete today, right? We'll talk about the vaccination as well. And after that, the another part is of drug abuse, where we will talk about the different types of drugs, their structure, their receptors, and how do they affect our body. So these are the things that we are going to discuss in this particular chapter. Okay, so yeah, cancer topic and all that will be discussed. There is nothing to worry about, guys. The topic of cancer, AIDS, and other disease, whatever is mentioned in your syllabus, we are going to complete it. Okay, so it's a very easy chapter. And for the drugs part, like somebody is saying in the chats that I find that portion difficult. First of all, it is not difficult. We'll discuss it one by one. And secondly, in that particular part, I'll be very clear, students, you just read it from the NCERT, then you practice the PYQs. That will be more than sufficient. Okay, that will be more than sufficient. Okay, and in today's chapter, today's session, what is the speciality of the today's session? First, question, so obviously we all have to practice, but other than that, here I'll provide you this complete PDF, right? In today's session, the notes that I'm going to provide you, because I'll explain you the topic, and after the explanation of that topic, students, right, you'll get this complete PDF where I have mentioned everything that you need for this particular chapter. Okay, so what you have to do, after, either you can make the notes with me, or you can just write down whatever I'm going to mention here on the board, and then you can just simply follow that PDF. That will be more than sufficient. There is no need to go beyond that. Okay, everything from the NCERT, everything will be covered. And when it comes to the MCQ practice, you know that the special class week is going on, and we are taking the special classes on Unacademy platform, that too free of cost, so you guys can join that as well. And moreover, students, after this particular class, okay, after this particular class, let me show you, my next class is on Wednesday, and that will be principles of inheritance and variation. And for this chapter, you'll get my handwritten notes. You are going to find everything very easy. We'll finish the chapter quickly, and when I'm saying that we are going to finish it quickly, it doesn't mean that we will not discuss it in depth itself. Plus, you will get my handwritten notes. Everything will be provided to you in detail, so you can follow this series, right? You can follow us blindly here, because whatever information is required for the NEET exam, keeping this NEET 2025 in mind, everything will be provided to you. Okay, and moreover, I have started a short video series. So here you people can see. So I have discussed the cardiac cycle, blood clotting, even the Chargaff's rule. So you will get more shorts like that. So make sure you watch it. So for that, do subscribe our channel. Okay, so let's start the chapter. So the chapter name is, yes everybody, the chapter name is Human Health and disease. So of course, the very first thing that we have to discuss here is the meaning of word health. So what do you understand with this word? Yes, what do you understand with this word? Health. When we say health, what do you understand with this word? Of course, when we are talking about the health, it is not just the absence of disease, okay? It is not just the absence of disease. Yeah, absence of disease is considered as the health, right? That is considered that individual is healthy, but it is just not the absence of disease. You cannot say that if somebody is physically fit, that person is healthy, because when you are talking about the health, you have to consider the complete aspect. You have to consider the physical health, you have to consider the emotional well-being, mental well-being, reproductive health. Everything we have to consider. Are you getting my point? Everything we have to consider, including, as I said, including the physical fitness, including the physical health, mental health, social health, emotional health. Everything we have to cover under this thing called as health. Okay, so I'll pick up the general words first. Then, what is the meaning of disease? So see, dis-ease, like there is a discomfort, right? There is a discomfort. Okay, so if there is a discomfort in our ease, like we are not easy, like something which is disturbing our body, right? It can be anything. So that is why at this, these days, so we prefer mental health too much, isn't it? Right? Because if mentally you are not feeling if mentally you are not feeling good, if you are feeling low, then of course, again, you don't have disease in that situation, but again, you don't feel like doing anything. Okay, so that is also another important aspect. So this is what we have to consider when we are talking about this particular chapter. So health is not just the absence of disease, it includes the complete well-being. Okay, it includes what? It includes the complete well-being, be it the physical, social, mental, emotional, okay, reproductive health. Everything we have to consider. Are you getting my point, students? Okay, so other than that, in this chapter we will also discuss one word, right? That is pathogen. Do you know what is the meaning of pathogen? Pathogen means disease causing organism. The meaning of pathogen is anything that is causing, any organism, any living organism that is causing disease is called the pathogen. So these are the things that we have to keep in our mind. So just come to this part. So here you guys can see that for a long time that health was considered, right, as a state of body and mind where there was a balance of certain humors. So now we are picking up the part from the NCERT. So when you read the NCERT, when you read the initial part, we talk about the certain humors. Humors, what are they? Here, these are the kind of fluid. Earlier, it was believed, students, that in our body, if there is a balance of these fluids, right, if then that person will be healthy, right? So when you talk about these humor thing, when you talk about this humor thing, you are actually talking about the fluids. What are we talking, guys? What are we talking, guys? Thank you so much, Rabia. Thank you so much. How are you? So what are we talking? We are talking about the word humor. What are we talking, students? We are talking about the word humor. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. What is the term or what is the word that we are using? We are using the word humor. Okay. Okay. Yes, please. Humor. Okay. So initially, right? So it is, humor refers to what? It refers to the body fluid, right? It refers to what? It refers to the body fluid. Okay, students, so earlier it was believed that it is the balance of certain humors, right? It is the balance of certain humors in our body that will decide whether a person is healthy or not. Am I clear? Am I clear? Okay. One minute, just allow me 1 minute. So what is the meaning of humor? Humor means the body fluid. So when there is a balance of all the body fluid, then the person was believed to be healthy. But students, this is again another important MCQ, the discovery of blood circulation, right? The discovery of blood circulation by William Harvey, right? Using experimental method, he demonstrated that if a person, right, if a person is having the black bile, so here there is a word, right, black bile. So black bile means if a person is having black bile means that person is having high, that person is having very hot personality. It is like that. As I said earlier, it was believed that the balance of certain human will make the person healthy, right? And when it comes to the black bile, if somebody is having this, so it means that person is having a very hot personality. But later on, what happened? The William Harvey, he discovered the blood circulation, right? He discovered the blood circulation and he demonstrated that a person with black bile, right, that a person with black bile is still having the normal body temperature. Okay. Okay, as I said, if a person is having black bile, means that person will have hot temperature, hot personality, that person will have high body temperature. But William Harvey, he discovered the blood circulation and he demonstrated with the help of a thermometer that if a person is having black bile, still that person is having the normal body temperature. So he disproved this good humor hypothesis of the health. Right, you have to keep in your mind. So who discovered the blood circulation? William Harvey. So this is my one MCQ that I have to keep in my mind. Okay, so in your short notes, this is the point that you have to write. Plus, you will write that William Harvey is the one who disproved the theory of this good humor hypothesis. Not the theory, but the hypothesis. This point clear? This point clear? Then, in later years, biology stated that the mind influences through neural system, that is our nervous system, and endocrine system, and it is the immune system, right? It is the immune system that is going to maintain our health. So this is the basic introductory part here. Okay, so when it comes to the health, students, so health is affected by, of course, the genetic disorders. So when it comes to the genetic disorders, we have the example of Down syndrome, hemophilia, etc., etc. When what is the thing? When there is the abnormality in our genetic material, it can be due to any mutation, isn't it? Isn't it? It is something that we are getting from our parents. Then infections can be there, any sort of infection. Like here at this point of time, you know that air pollution is too much. Air pollution is too much. Pollutants are there. They are causing the lung infection, right? Asthma is there. There are so many things, isn't it? Isn't it? So infections is there. Infections are there. Allergens are there. Plus lifestyle. Lifestyle plays a very important role, right? If we don't have the healthy lifestyle, of course, we are prone to many diseases. So this is what we have to consider. So health is affected by all that things. So as I said, we cannot simply say that if there is the absence of disease or a person is physically fit, that person is healthy. No, we cannot say that. We have to consider the complete physical, mental, and social well-being. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? So physical, mental, and complete social well-being we have to consider when we have to mention a person is healthy. Now, what is disease? As I said, right, disease, dis-ease, like there is a discomfort in our ease. We are not easy here, right? So when the functioning of one or more organs, even the system of the body, when it is affected, students, then it will result in the appearance of different signs. It will result in the appearance of different symptoms. That means a person is having a disease. Are you getting my point? That person is not healthy. Person is having what? Person is having the disease. Is that clear? So two types of disease are there here, infectious and non-infectious. So can you just tell me what is the meaning of infectious disease? Anybody? What is the meaning of infectious disease? Anybody? If a disease is infectious or non-infectious, the session should be interactive, guys. So do let me know and quickly hit the like button. Okay, you should have keep your NCERT with you. You should have a notebook, right? A pen, of course. So whatever points I'm saying that this is important MCQ, you either highlight it in your book or just simply mention it in your notebook. Okay, later on you'll get this PDF. You can download it from our official Telegram group, that is Unacademy NEET English. And guys, this PDF is including everything, including NCERT, extra point, everything will be provided to you. Okay, okay. So yes, so what is the meaning of infectious disease? Exactly. Infectious disease means that spread from one person to another. The disease that spread from one person to another is called as what? Is called as infectious disease, right? The disease that spread from one person to another is called infectious disease, right? Obviously they are contagious also, right? The living basically, see, spreading from one person to another. One thing is directly person to person contact, like we know about the TB, we know about the common cold, right? And sometimes vectors are also involved. Are you getting my point? Like there can be a mosquito, there can be the housefly, etc., etc. But when it comes to the non-infectious disease, they are not spreading like that. So here you can see the disease which are easily transmitted from one person to another. They are the infectious disease, right, students? Right, AIDS is one of the infectious disease. And when it comes to the non-infectious, the most dangerous one is what? It is the cancer. It will not spread from one person to another, but we know that it's a very dangerous disease, isn't it, students? So it is a very dangerous disease. Okay. Okay. So is that clear? Yes, exactly. So you can also use the word communicable diseases. Is that clear? So infectious is also known as, and I'm very happy the way students are responding in the chat. Very good, beta. So it is also known as communicable diseases, and these are what? These are the non-communicable one. So give me the example of at least 3 communicable diseases quickly in the chat section. Give me the example of communicable diseases, quick. Quick. Give me at least 3 examples of communicable diseases, quick. Yes, please. Communicable, okay, AIDS is there, common cold is there. Beta, Entamoeba histolytica is not a disease. That is an organism that causes the amoebiasis. Okay, so actually this is what I want to highlight. In AIMS, there was a question in the AIMS examination in which it was mentioned that HIV and AIDS, right, that which one is the disease? Obviously it is the AIDS that is the disease. HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, it is the causative agent. Okay, so when I'm asking the disease, you mention the disease only, okay, not the causative agent. So these are the details that you have to keep in your mind, right, while attempting the question. So yes, the communicable and the non-communicable disease are there. Very simple thing. So now we will start the common disease. But yes, again, just 1 minute. So William Harvey is the one who discovered the blood circulation. He disproved the good humor theory. So when it comes to the humor, it means the body fluid. That is going to include the blood. That is going to include the black bile, even there is yellow bile also, and phlegm is also there. So these are the, right, these are the fluids that is considered. So when they are balanced, then obviously when they are balanced, then the person will be healthy. Now, when it comes to the common disease in humans, we know that bacteria, viruses, fungi, helminths, right, your askelminth, platyhelminths, plus protozoans, they can cause the disease. So now what we have to keep in our mind, that which disease is caused by bacteria, which disease is caused by virus, which is caused by fungi. So you have to remember the causative agent and even the symptoms. When it comes to the symptoms, right, when it comes to the symptoms, so what you guys need to keep in, what you guys have to remember, the one which are given in NCERT, that will be sufficient. Okay, so let's go. So here you can see the common one that you have to remember, like when you are talking about the bacterial disease, dysentery is there. So this is bacterial dysentery, because dysentery is also caused by, keep it in your mind, students, dysentery is also caused by the protozoans. So it is what? It is what? It is the bacterial dysentery. Here we will talk about the shigellosis. We'll discuss it one by one. Okay. Shigella species, they cause this bacterial dysentery. Then plague is there, right? Right. Diphtheria is there. Cholera is there. Typhoid is there. Pneumonia is there. Right. Other than that, there are other disease also, right, that we have to discuss. We will even talk about the paratyphoid when it comes to the viral, common cold, mumps, measles, viral hepatitis, dengue fever, chikungunya, chickenpox, and poliomyelitis. This dengue fever and chikungunya, they were added in your syllabus, I think 2 years back, 2 or 3 years back. Fungal disease, candidiasis is there, athlete's foot is there. This is very important. Then malaria, very important, right? Amoebiasis caused by Entamoeba histolytica. Then African sleeping sickness, Kala Azar is also there. And plus here we will also talk about the trichomoniasis. Okay. Trichomoniasis. Then Helminthic disease, Escherichiasis, and the filariasis. So this is what we have to discuss. So as I said, you'll get the flow charts, you'll get the notes, you'll get the table. So there is nothing to worry about. Just focus on listening to the things right now. Later on, you can just take the printout of this PDF and you can simply mug up it, because obviously you have to, you don't have any choice here. You have to remember these names. So when it comes to cholera, right, cholera, who's going to cause that? Vibrio cholerae. Right, when it comes to cholera, who's going to cause that? Vibrio cholerae. So Vibrio, you know that it's a bacterial shape, right? So it's a comma-shaped bacteria. What sort of bacteria it is? It's a comma-shaped bacteria. The second thing is pneumonia, Streptococcus pneumoniae. We even discuss about it in molecular basis of inheritance. So Streptococcus pneumoniae, you can also write it as Diplococcus pneumoniae, or Diplococcus, or the pneumococcus is also there, right? So coccus means spherical. So it is the spherical shaped bacteria. Then comes the typhoid fever, Salmonella typhi. Who's going to confirm that? This is confirmed by Vidal test. Again, another important NEET MCQ. Then comes the tetanus, Clostridium tetani, which is also known as lockjaw disease. Then dysentery. So this is bacterial dysentery, okay? Right. So as I said, bacterial dysentery is also known as shigellosis. Right. So it is known as shigellosis. So it is caused by Shigella dysentery. Plague. Right, plague is caused by this bacteria, Yersinia pestis. You know that even the rats, they help in spreading it through a flea. That flea name is Xenosylla chiopsis. Okay, that flea name is, that is a flea that helps in spreading this. So chiopsis, that's the bacteria that causes it. So it is a rat flea. It is the rat flea that helps in spreading this disease. Then diphtheria, also known as Galgotu, Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Then comes the TB, tuberculosis, that is Mycobacterium tetani. Then comes the leprosy, known as Kusht rog, right? Mycobacterium leprae, whooping cough, Voditidella pertussis, right? This is something that you have to remember. They all are important. Okay, so if it is written that Clostridium tetani, it causes which disease? Tetanus, you have to remember. Or the question can be in this format as well. Tetanus is caused by, okay? The question can be in this format as well. Tetanus is caused by A, bacteria or virus, fungi, protozoan, etc. So yes, you can get such simple questions as well. So it is caused by bacteria. Is that clear? It is caused by bacteria. Then here you can see, right, shigellosis, right, Shigella. I have even mentioned the symptoms. What would I say? Yeah, the symptoms here, everything here. Okay, so I have 2 tables for it. So let's discuss it from this one. So again, please repeat it with me. Shigellosis, bacillar dysentery, or I would say bacterial dysentery. Who's going to cause that, guys? Everybody please type it in the chat section. It is something that we have to remember, we have to cram. Everybody quick. So shigellosis, what is the word that we have here? Shigellosis. So shigellosis and bacterial dysentery is the same, right? Shigellosis and bacterial dysentery is same. Who's going to cause that? Shigella, right? So pathogen will be in intestine. So contamination will be through food and water, right? So abdominal pain, dehydration, blood and mucus in the stools will be there. Okay, the common symptoms of this dysentery. Then this Black Death, plague, right? As I said, bacteria is Yersinia pestis. So it will stay in the lymph nodes. So rat flea is the vector. So what is the vector that will help in spreading the disease, right? That will spread that pathogen. Okay. Understood? So rat flea, Xenosylla chiopsis. Okay, so fever, headache, swollen lymph nodes will be there. Then diphtheria, Corynebacterium diphtheriae. So larynx, skin, nasal and genital passage is the location here. It spreads through droplet infection. Then fever, sore throat, hoarseness and difficulty in breathing. These are the symptoms of diphtheria. Then comes the cholera, Vibrio cholera, as I said, comma-shaped bacteria. So again, through contaminated food and water, the symptoms are diarrhea and dehydration. So just focus on the unique symptoms. That's it. That's it. These are the symptoms which will be seen in this particular disease or that particular disease. That is how you have to approach this part. Is that clear, guys? Then comes tetanus, lockjaw. Definitely, this is very important. Right, very important. So Clostridium tetani, the muscle spasms will be there. Okay, so this can be through the wound infection. So whenever we get any infection through any nail or something, it is advised that we should go and we should take this particular injection to avoid this disease. So it can result in the rigidity of the jaw muscles, because the muscular spasms are there, students. So heart rate will increase, the muscles of jaw, right, they will have the spasm. So contraction, prolonged contraction can also be there. So that is why it is also known as lockjaw disease. Is that clear? Next is typhoid, also known as enteric fever, Salmonella typhi. We know that. Confirmatory test is Vidal test. Again, the most repeated MCQ, right? So which most repeated MCQ? So housefly spread it basically. So headache, abdominal pain, fever, diarrhea will be there. So these are the symptoms of the typhoid. Then pneumonia, Streptococcus pneumoniae, lungs will be infected. So here again, the droplet infection. So when you read the NCERT, there is a part where they, kind of compare the common cold and the pneumonia. So common cold is caused by virus. This pneumonia is caused by a bacteria. And when you talk about the pneumonia part, right, it is basically affecting the lungs, right? And when it comes to the common cold, it will affect the respiratory passage only, not the lungs. So fever, cough, painful breathing, and brown sputum will also be there in our lungs. Okay. So tuberculosis, TB, again it spreads. It is right, it is infectious through droplet infection. It will spread. So thick muco, purulent will be there in the nasal discharge as well. Okay, so this is about the TB. So little bit more. So cholera we have already completed. So it is the severe diarrhea and vomiting, stool like rice water. It affects the small intestine, right? So pneumonia, keep it in your mind. Again, keep it in your mind, guys. Fever, chills, cough, headache, difficulty in breathing will be there. The mucus and the lymph fluid, there is accumulation of that in the alveoli and bronchioles. So lungs are highly affected in pneumonia, right, students? So lips and nails, they'll turn gray to blue in the severe cases, because lungs are affected. Obviously, the exchange of gases will be affected. So that is how it will go. Is that clear? Then, how can it be? Mode of infection is patient sputum, right? If somebody else is affected, obviously they'll get the infection like this. Droplet infection, aerosols, even sharing the common glasses, utensils, they can also lead in the spread of this disease. So typhoid done. Okay, so typhoid part done. And in the typhoid, remember, sustained high fevers are there, no doubt. Loss of appetite, weakness, even, this is important, intestinal perforations can also occur. Constipation, stomach pain, again, it will be there. So tetanus, lockjaw, also known as Dhanushstambha. Okay, Clostridium tetani. So here I already told you that there will be the muscular spasm. Motor neurons can also get degenerated. Okay, so now come to the viral diseases, students. So viral diseases that will include, number one, influenza, the flu that we talk about, right? Influenza, the flu that we talk about. Is that clear? Guys, speed is fine, right? Speed is fine. And who's going to make the notes later? Who's going to make the notes later? Okay, yes, ma'am, we'll make the short notes. We'll make the flow charts. Yes, please. Who's going to make the short notes later? That, ma'am. And who's making it with the class itself? Okay, ma'am, we are writing it. So guys, whatever questions or topics I have mentioned now, that they are the most repeated one. No need to leave that, okay? Done? Thank you so much, Shiva. Okay? Very good, Rosie. So, influenza, flu, it is caused by myxovirus influenzae. Okay, so it is the flu. We know it very well. It will infect the mucous membrane of our respiratory tract. The nasal discharge, fever, sneezing, coughing, body ache, etc. will be there. Mode of infection is airborne, droplets from nose and the throat. Okay, so it is the, yes, Right, so it is the influenza, myxovirus influenza. Then comes common cold, one of the most infectious human disease. So you know, common cold, it is also known as rhinitis. Right, it is also known as rhinitis. So you people are medicos, so this is what you have to use. Right, use these technical terms in front of your other friends, those who are not able to understand it. Oh my god, I'm affected with rhinitis. Okay, so rhinitis again caused by rhinovirus. Again, it is a viral disease, so we know it very well. Nasal discharge, headache, fever, sneezing, cough, right, congestion, all of it will be there. So mainly here, nose and the upper tract, this is something that we have to underline. Nose and the upper respiratory tract is affected, but not the lungs. Okay, so in rhinitis, lungs are not affected. It is just the nose and the upper respiratory tract. That's it. So again, airborne droplets, fomites like pen, books, doorknobs, they can spread it. Then poliomyelitis, also known as polio, also known as infantile paralysis. Again, viral disease, poliovirus or enterovirus, it causes that. So virus will enter through gastrointestinal tract. It damages ventral horn of spinal cord, guys. Inflammation of nervous system will be there. Muscles, they will shrink. Limb paralysis and the stiffness of neck can occur. So this is the poliovirus. Is that clear? Right? Is that clear? Done. So by contaminated food and water it spread. Then comes the chikungunya. So chikungunya virus will cause that. Joint pain is there, right? And here again, the another important point, another important MCQ, which mosquito is going to spread that? Aedes aegypti. Very important. Very important. This is something that you have to mark. Okay, Aedes aegypti. Is that clear? Then comes the dengue fever. That is the breakbone fever as well. You know that in severe cases, the platelet count, it just decreases. Like when it is less than 40,000 or around 40,000, the person needs to get hospitalized. So when somebody is affected with dengue, obviously they should take, you know, too much of liquid, okay, the coconut water, obviously the normal medicines that are prescribed by the doctors, but the fluid intake should be more. So it is caused by flavivirus or the arbovirus, sometimes also referred to as dengue virus, right? Sometimes also referred to as dengue virus. So there is the onset of fever, frontal headache is there, plus pain behind eyes, right? Joint pain, right? Joint pain, rashes, all of it will occur. Right? All of it will occur. Just a minute, guys. So there is some power issue. So right now it's not there. So let's manage it in this way. Okay, so abrupt onset of fever, frontal headaches will be there, right? Pain behind the eyes, joint pain will be there, measles like rashes, vomiting, bleeding from the nose and gums, stomach pain, thirst will be there, restlessness will be there. So all that things will occur. So when there is the decrease in the platelet count, as I told you, right? Then when it is less than 40,000 or around 40,000, the person needs to 40 or 45,000, the person needs to get hospitalized. Is that clear? The person needs to get hospitalized. Is that clear? Right? So it will again spread by the bite of Aedes aegypti. So this is for the dengue fever. So again, it is also important. Right? It is also important. Just keep it in your mind. Done? Just keep it in your mind. Then comes the hepatitis B. Of course, it is given in the chapter. Which chapter? Ma'am, it is given in the chapter reproductive health. So we will discuss this part here only. So hepatitis B, it is caused by the hepatitis B virus, right? That is a DNA virus, double-stranded DNA it is. So, right, so it causes serum hepatitis. Symptoms are anorexia, the nausea, vomiting, urine turns dark, stool turns pale. Okay, so it can spread due to the blood transfusion. We also discuss it in the reproductive health. So do you know, guys, do you know the meaning of this anorexia? Anorexia? Yes, please. Do you know the meaning of anorexia? Yes. So anorexia is nothing but it is the loss of appetite. What is it? It is the loss of appetite, right? The person lose that desire of eating something or like that. Okay. So hepatitis B. Other than that, can you just tell me which other disease we discuss? Viral disease we discuss in the reproductive health? Obviously, HIV. We'll discuss it in detail as well. Human immunodeficiency virus. Just a minute. Human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, causes AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. We'll talk about it. Other than that, HPV or PV. What is this? Human papilloma virus. Okay, so here the genital warts, the disease caused as genital warts. Is that clear? Keep it in your mind. Okay, it is the genital warts, HPV. So that's it. Bacterial disease is done. Then we will talk about the Helminthic disease. So when it comes to the Helminthic disease, students, so here you people can see number one is encyclostomiasis, right? It is also known as hookworm disease. It is caused by encyclostoma, okay? Encyclostoma, which is the hookworm. So again, it is monogenetic, right? So monogenetic means single host to complete the life cycle. If the word is digenetic, means that particular pathogen require two hosts to complete the life cycle, right? To complete the life cycle. So these are the terms that you have to remember. So monogenetic means the single host to complete the life cycle. Digenetic means two hosts to complete the life cycle. For an example, you can take the example of malaria caused by the malarial parasite Plasmodium. So you know that the two hosts are the female Anopheles mosquito and the human. So obviously that is not the Helminthic disease, but just giving you that example. That is a protozoal disease, but just giving you the example. So when a single host is required, then the basically that is monogenetic. When two hosts are required, that is the digenetic. Okay, that is the digenetic. Is that clear? So here you can see what is going to happen in this encyclostoma. Acute anemia will be there. Okay, so because intestinal wall is injured, done, students. So those who are, you know, walking barefoot, they can just get this pathogen, then that pathogen can enter in our body, right? So then comes the ascariasis. Again, it is monogenetic. The single host is man. So Ascaris lumbricoides, the roundworm, it is going to cause it. This is important MCQ. Then where this pathogen will inhibit? In the small intestine, of course. Actually, this Ascaris, it takes a 10 days tour in our body because there are different larval stages which are also included. So internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, anemia, blockage of intestinal passage will be there in this particular disease. So eggs, they'll be passed in the fecal matter. They'll contaminate the soil, water and the plant, right? Obviously, how can we get the infection? Through this contaminated water, vegetables. So infective stages, rhabditiform larva. This is the second stage juvenile, right? So obviously the larval stages are there. So this is the one which is the infective. So 4 larval stages occur in the Ascaris of life cycle. So it takes around a 10-day tour in our body, right? In which, you know, the larva, the hatching of larva, further it grow, all the things are included. Okay, so we don't have the details of that. That's why we will just write the important information here. Then comes the filariasis, also known as elephantiasis, right? In your book, this diagram is given, right? This picture is given. You all have seen that. So here, this diagram is showing inflammation in one of the lower limbs, and that is due to the elephantiasis, also known as filariasis, right? Elephantiasis, also known as filariasis. So here it is caused by Wicheria wincroftae, or other species is Wicheria malai. Again, important MCQ. So this particular helminth is basically, roundworm is basically viviparous, right? So you know that what is the meaning of being viviparous here, or I'll say ovoviviparous. So viviparous means the one which give birth to the young ones. But here obviously placental connections are not there, right, students? So it is also known as the filarial worm. It is also known as the filarial worm. This is important, right? It can you can get the question from this part, right? Even in animal kingdom chapter, right? You know, in the animal kingdom also it is mentioned. So this is something you have to remember. So again, it is also digenetic, right? 2 hosts are there. Man is the primary host and Culex mosquito is the secondary host. This information is important. Okay, this information is important. So we have discussed the dengue, chikungunya. For that, the mosquito is Aedes aegypti, but here it is Culex. So you can just remember like this, WC. Okay, WC, word cup. This is what you people can remember. Word cup. Okay, WC. So you can keep it in your mind. So which area So hi people, I think I am audible to all of you, right? I believe I'm audible to all of you. Okay, that's fine. Okay, some power glitch was there, but I believe now it's fine. So we were talking about the host. So monogenetic means single host, digenetic means two hosts are there. Plus, whenever you talk about the primary host, right? Then there is the word primary host, secondary host, or the intermediate host. Always remember, when you say the primary host, that particular host will have the sexual stages of that pathogen. Okay, that particular host will have the sexual stages of that pathogen. So that is what you have to keep in your mind. Okay, so primary host, secondary host, tertiary host, sometimes this is what we discuss. So whenever you talk about the word primary host, so just keep it in your mind whenever you say primary host. So primary host means that particular host is having the sexual stages of that pathogen. Is that clear? Is that clear? Sure. Everybody, is that clear? Okay, so then ascariasis, again I told you it is monogenetic. It means the single host is there, and it is the encyclostomiasis, where you will see the again the single host is there. Okay, done. So we were talking about the Vicharia. So here you people can see. Array, what is happening? Just a minute, students. Okay, so we were talking about the Vicharia. It's not working again. That's okay. Let me upload the PDF. It's okay. So Vicharia Vencrofti, as I said, you have to remember WC, word cup. So W means Vicharia, C means Culex. So it is the Culex mosquito that is going to spread that helminth. Okay? Right? Guys, am I not audible? Am I audible? I believe yes. Hannah? Am I audible? Am I audible? What is happening? Okay, done. Voice is not clear. Is it so? Now? Now? It's not even working. I'm unable to type anything. Just allow me 1 minute. Guys, there is some technical glitch. Just allow me 1 minute. Even if it is not getting uploaded, at least screen should work. I'll write directly. Okay, I'll share the... this is what even I'm thinking, if it doesn't work this time. So I will just switch it off and then we'll start. Now it's working fine. Let's see. So that's it. So bacterial disease is done, and this is what we were discussing, which area Vencrofti. So you know that it is the digenetic. Okay. So when I'm saying the word digenetic, man is the primary host. So man will have the sexual stages of this particular pathogen. So Culex mosquito, it is a secondary host. So yes, they can frame you question like this as well, that in which area Vencrofti, which one is primary and which one is secondary host. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay. Done. So blood and lymph, the habitat, it is the habitat of this particular pathogen, mainly the lymphatic vessels of the lower limb, right? So if you talk about the symptoms here, symptoms for this elephantiasis or the filariasis, so you will see that slowly there will be the inflammation of the organ where this worm is living for years, fever, anemia, even sometimes genital organs, they also get affected, and due to which gross deformities will be there in the genital organs. So gross means superficial deformities will be there in this particular genital organs. Then comes teniasis. It is caused by Taenia solium. That is a platyhelminths. That is not a roundworm, students. That is a flatworm basically. So here it is also known as the tapeworm. So it is again digenetic. So man is the primary host. Pig is the secondary host. So those who eat the pork, and if in that pork there is a cyst if there is a cyst, and if that pork is not well cooked, then the person can get this particular disease. So the pathogen, it will be in the small intestine. Right, the pathogen, it will be in the small intestine, guys. And here again, even the basically it will be there in the muscles part as well, right? So muscular pain, anemia, irritability, and increased appetite and nausea will be there. These are the symptoms. So this is something that you have to remember. Then we'll talk about the fungal disease as well. But before going further, right, this part is from the NCERT. So see, Salmonella typhi, done, discussed. Okay, Vidal test, done, discussed, important MCQ. Sustained high fever, loss of appetite, all the points are discussed. So whenever we will talk about the typhoid now, we always discuss about the Mary Mellon, who's also nicknamed as the typhoid Mary. This is a story. Actually, she was the carrier of the disease and she was cook by profession. So it was noticed by the medical professionals that those who were eating, like at that time, people, they were getting this disease, right, this typhoid too much. And then when, some medical professionals, they just carried out some research and they get to know that they all just had their food from the particular restaurant. So she was what? So she was a cook by profession and was a typhoid carrier who continued to spread typhoid for several years through the food she prepared. Okay, so we always discuss that. So this is all about this part. And then Streptococcus pneumoniae, Haemophilus influenzae, right? So they are responsible for pneumonia. Done and discussed. So alveoli, they will get filled with the fluid, due to which severe problems in the respiration will be there, and that can result in the lips and the fingernails to turn grey and bluish. So in that particular table, I have added everything from this part. Even I have discussed dysentery, plague, diphtheria with all of you, right? Viral diseases, we have completed it, students. Okay, so again, the symptoms are also discussed here. Right, so all the symptoms we have covered. Two things that we have to discuss further is mumps and the measles. So mumps caused by mumps virus, paramyxovirus it is. So where the pathogen will, where is the site of infection? Salivary glands. So through saliva and droplet infection, it will spread. So parotid gland, which is located outside the buccal cavity, there is the enlargement of that. So this is the mumps. And when it comes to the measles caused by rubella virus, again, the paramyxovirus it is. So site of infection is skin and the respiratory tract. Again, the droplet infection. So running nose is there, cough and fever, redness and all will be there. That's it. Okay, students. So this is a little bit about the dengue fever because it is mentioned in your, right? This dengue fever is mentioned in your syllabus as well. So a bit of it we will discuss here. So just a minute. Okay, done. Is that clear? It is, right? So about the bit of hoarseness means, whenever we get the cold, there is change in our voice now. So that is what we have to discuss. Okay, done, guys. Here there is nothing that something. It is all the memory based part, right? You should know the disease causing pathogen. You should know the disease and the particular symptoms. That is it. Nothing else. Nothing else. So as you know about the dengue fever, I told you clearly, beta, sudden high fever, severe headache, pain, this will be there, right? So again, dengue, how will it spread? Through the bite of the Aedes aegypti mosquito. The transmission of the disease will occurs when the mosquito bites the infected person and subsequently bites a healthy person. It is like that, right? So it transmits the blood containing the virus to the healthy person, and the person will get infected with the dengue. So symptoms will appear after 5 to 7 days, and this time period is considered as the incubation period. So whenever we talk about the incubation period, what is that? It is basically the time period in which pathogen enters the body plus the first symptom appear. So that time period in which pathogen is preparing itself, right, and the symptom then appear later. So pathogen enter, symptom appear. This time period is the incubation period. What is it? It is the incubation period. So you have to remember the you just have to remember the mosquito here. So that is going to be, yes students, that is going to be Aedes aegypti. That is it. Okay, that is it. So elephantiasis, Culex, that's it. So here you can see female needs blood for the egg production. Then oviposition, eggs laid most times slightly above the water level. So here you can see, so basically how do we differentiate these different types of mosquitoes? Yeah, from their eggs also, the way they sit, all that things are considered. So this is not required for you. You just need to remember the disease and you just need to remember the causative agent. That is it. So now let's talk about the fungal disease, students. So here you will talk about the trichophyton, which will infect skin, hair and nail. You can see the pictures here. We all have seen that. We all have seen that. And they will mostly occur due to the poor hygiene. And one should not share our, the towel, our undergarments, even our comb with somebody else. Okay, keep it in your mind. So it is related to the basic hygiene. Right? So fungal disease, that can result in the itching, that can result in the rashes. So here you can see the genus Trichophyton that will infect the skin, hair and nail. Microsporum. If instead of microsporum, macrosporum is written, then again it will be incorrect. So microsporum that infects the skin and hair but not the nails. Then epidermophyton. So epiderm is the word. So you can remember skin and nails but not the hair. So this is it. Okay, so which question can be asked from this part? From this part, you have to remember the athlete's foot. Right? Athlete's foot. So tell me, it's a fungal disease, number 1. Okay, it's what? It is a fungal disease, number 1. So you just have to tell me, right? It is a fungal disease. So you just have to tell me it is caused by which particular fungi. Quick. Quick. It is caused by which particular fungi? Athlete's foot. Yes, please. Anybody? Anybody? It's a fungal disease. Again, it is also a previous year question. It is also a previous year question. So students, it is also known as Tinea pedis, right? And it is caused by mainly, you'll say, Trichophyton species. But again, Trichophyton species. But again, some Epidermophyton species can also cause it. And why do we call it as athlete's foot? Because mainly athletes, those who wear very tight shoes, those who sweat a lot, and they even share the common washrooms, the lockers and all of that. So they are more prone to this. So it basically affects the skin part. It basically affects these, feet, the fingers like this. Okay. So yes, it is a previous year question. So you have to remember that. Okay. Done. So see this. Even in NCERT, it is given genera Microsporum, Trichophyton, Epidermophyton. They are responsible for what? They are responsible for the ringworms. And here I have specified this, that when it is the Trichophyton, skin, hair and nail all are affected. If it is Microsporum, skin and hair is affected. If it is the Epidermophyton, then skin and nails are affected but not the hair. Is that clear? But not the hair. Is that clear? So that's something you have to keep in your mind, okay? right? So scaly lesions will be there on the various body parts, mainly skin, nails, and the scalp. Okay, and itching will be there, students, right? So heat and moisture, it is very important for the fungi to grow. So those who sweat a lot, right, those who sweat a lot and wear very tight shoes and all, they are more prone to this. Okay, they are more prone to this. So Helminthic disease done. So in the NCRT also, Ascaris is given and the Vicharia Wencrofti is given. Okay, give it a reading quick. Give it a reading. Quick, students. Yes? Done. So Ascaris is given in the NCRT. Okay. Ascaris is given in the NCRT. Elephantiasis is given in the NCRT. Right. And even, you know that when you read the animal kingdom, in the animal kingdom part, also they have given the examples. Right. So you should pick that up and you should know which disease are they causing. Okay. Done. So in that table, guys, you will get everything. So now we will talk about the protozoal disease, where we have to discuss the malaria in detail. We'll discuss the malaria in detail, number 1. Number 2, we will discuss the AIDS and the cancer in detail. Okay. So now it comes to, so whatever like we have read so far. So it was related to the pathogens that are causing the disease and the symptoms. So just keep it in your mind. If we go for the quick revision, so obviously the very first point we are going to pick is that initially there was a concept of humors in which we say that blood was there, phlegm was there, yellow bile, black bile was there. So the person having black bile, it means that person is having hot personality, like the temperature will be more. But William Harvey, he discovered the blood circulation and he disproved this particular theory, because with the help of thermometer, he showed that a person having black bile is still having the normal body temperature. Then we started with the disease part. We talked about the various bacterial diseases, the typhoid, the pneumonia, okay, the tetanus. So there are tetanus, cholera, etc., etc. Then we discuss the viral diseases, fungal diseases, their pathogen, helminthic diseases. Meanwhile, we have even completed the NCRT. Okay, we have even completed the NCRT. Okay, so now what are we going to discuss? We will talk about the protozoal disease. Okay, we will talk about the protozoal disease. Guys, we have just started an hour ago and we have completed this disease portion. Now we will talk about the protozoal disease, the malaria part and even your AIDS part and cancer part. Then you will get the break. Let's finish this disease part first. Then we will, after the break, we'll start the immunity. We'll finish the immunity. After another break, we will start the drug part. So the chapter is not very lengthy. Okay, Vasant, and it's just 1 hour. Okay, and in which the power issue was also there. So let's not waste time. We can finish it very quickly. Okay, we can finish it very quickly. So just focus there. Okay, exactly. So these are the question wasn't that you have to remember. So let's start with the protozoal disease, amoebic dysentery. So while answering the question, kindly pay attention. What are they asking? Are they asking bacterial dysentery, or are they asking the, yes, are they asking bacterial dysentery or the protozoal dysentery? This is something that you have to remember. Okay, bacterial or the protozoal. So if it is bacterial, it is also known as Shigella. I'm repeating this for the 3rd time, and causative agent is Shigella. But if it is the amoebic dysentery or amoebiasis, then you are talking about what? You are talking about a protozoan. So I believe you all know what a protozoan is. Students, we discuss the various kingdoms, like we discuss the kingdom Monera, we study the kingdom Protista, we also study the kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, and then kingdom Animalia. This is what we discuss, right? This is what we discuss. We talk about the Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. These are the kingdoms that we discuss, okay? So when you talk about the kingdom Protista, it include all unicellular, eukaryotic organisms, and here in kingdom Protista, you basically discuss what? In kingdom Protista, you talk about the protozoans. Okay, right? We talk about what? Protozoans. Fine. So protozoans are unicellular eukaryotic organism. That's what you have to remember. Okay. So protozoans are unicellular eukaryotic organisms. Understood? So amoebic dysentery, entamoeba histolytica. Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, again monogenetic. Malaria, different species of plasmodium. Important. Trypanosomiasis. Trypanosoma. It is also the sleeping sickness. Right? It is also known as sleeping sickness. Then comes what? Leishmaniasis, which is also known as Kala-Azar, which is also known as dum-dum fever or black fever. Even in biological classification, we will discuss it. So trypanosomiasis, that is the sleeping sickness. Okay, and here you have different trypanosoma species: Leishmaniasis, Leishmania, Kala-Azar, dum-dum fever, black fever. And moreover, there is one trypanosoma. There is one species of trypanosoma, Trypanosoma cruzi, that will cause Chagas disease. Okay, not for NEET, but yeah, you can get this question in other entrance examination. So Trypanosoma cruzi. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay, so Leishmaniasis, Leishmania, this pathogen, its vector is sandfly, and here it is CC fly, or some people call it as tsetse fly. So this is what you have to remember. For Trypanosoma cruzi, it is the bug, redubid bug, that spread this disease. Okay, that spread this disease. So write down. Quick, write down. Okay, so this is the extra information, but overall it is important for you. So as I said, malaria, different plasmodium species, we will discuss about it. And then trypanosomiasis, sleeping sickness, Trypanosoma gambiense, and there are other species also. So we have mentioned the Trypanosoma cruzi here, that will cause the Chagas disease. So Leishmaniasis, as I said, Kala-Azar, black fever, dum-dum fever. Again, Leishmania is the causative agent, and the vector here is the sandfly. Okay. The vector here is the sandfly. Understood? Any doubt? The vector here is the sandfly. Noted? Sure? Quick. Done? Sandfly. Okay, so sandfly, the scientific name is not that important, so it is Phlebotomus argentips, and CC fly will be Glossina species. That's it. So that's what you have to remember. Next part, so yeah, it is regarding the malaria. We'll discuss that. But before that, let me show you the, okay. I've added that picture, maybe done. So then let's talk about the malarial parasite or the malaria. Done? Finally. See, I literally love to write. I do not prefer such slides or the PPTs, right? But the point is, you know, that you guys are having very long sessions, right? For a week, you just get the 1 day break. So that is why this time I have kept it like this, that I'll keep the slides and include the slides so that later on you can just write down the important points, and now you can spend your time in understanding the topic, and later on you can just download that PDF. Okay, and in this way we will also save our time a bit. This is important for you. So otherwise, so you know that I prefer to keep writing, keep scribbling. I just love it. So now this is the part that we are going to discuss like this. So just pay the attention. So we are going to talk about the malaria now. Okay, fine. You know, it is something which can be treated, but honestly there was a time when malaria was something which was a big problem. Government has provided too much funds to the different research labs, to the different scientists, so that they can discover some medicine to stop this. It was such a big problem when we talk about the malaria. Now when we talk about the malaria, students, in the case of malaria, what you have to remember, it is a disease that is caused by a protozoan. What is the name of that protozoan? Just now we discussed, it is caused by a protozoan. What is the name of that protozoan? That is basically the plasmodium. Okay, so plasmodium, which is also known as malarial parasite, right? What is it? It is also known as malarial parasite. Who? Plasmodium. So we talk about the different species, like Plasmodium vivax is there. Okay, Plasmodium malaria is there, Plasmodium ovale is there, and Plasmodium falciparum is also there. Okay, Plasmodium falciparum is also there. So this one cause most dangerous malaria. Do you know that? This is the one that cause most dangerous malaria. Is that clear? This is what, and this one is the common one. Okay, this one is the common one. Now when you talk about this particular disease, what you people are going to see here, there are two hosts. Number one, obviously primary host, that primary host. Number two, secondary host. And here, students, primary host is not human, that is the female Anopheles mosquito. Which one is the primary host here? Female Anopheles mosquito, not the male one. And human is the secondary host here. Why this female Anopheles is the primary host there? Because it is having sexual stages of pathogen. Okay, it is having sexual stages of this particular pathogen here. Am I clear? Am I clear, everybody? Right? So it is the female Anopheles mosquito. But why female Anopheles mosquito? Why not male? Because female Anopheles mosquito needs the blood, human blood, right? That human blood is having the gametocytes for this particular pathogen. So female Anopheles, they need the blood, right? Female Anopheles, they need that blood. But when it comes to the male, right? When it comes to the male, they just feed on the plant sap. Right? They do not feed on the human blood. But when it comes to the female Anopheles mosquito, right, they feed on what? They feed on human blood. Is that clear? Noted? Yes, please write down. Yes, please write down. Quick. Right? Quick. Okay. Done. So now I would like to ask you a question. Just say I told you that female Anopheles mosquito, they feed on the human blood for the egg development, for their egg development, right? For their egg development, they need this blood. So male Anopheles mosquito, they don't make the eggs, so they just feed on the plant material. But now my question is, when it comes to the female Anopheles mosquito or the mosquito, what do you think? Are they the parasite or are they the vectors? Like, how can you differentiate that? Anybody, just give it a try. What are you going to call them? Are they the parasite or the vector? Yes, please. Like, you might have read this, that mosquito is not considered as a parasite. Anybody? Quick, try to give the answer. Anybody? See, mosquito is not considered as a true parasite. Reason being that mosquito is not completing the part of its life cycle on the host. Like if we talk about us, right, it's not like that ki mosquito need us to complete the part of their life cycle. Mosquitoes or female mosquitoes, they need our blood so that they can just for the development of their eggs. So it is not like that they need us or they permanently live on us. Yeah, they are just, they cannot live without us. It is not like that. Okay, students. So it is just that they just need this blood. Okay, they just need this blood. So when it comes to the mosquito is not considered as the true parasite. Is that clear? Mosquito is not considered as the true parasite. Is that clear? Right? Is that clear? Yes, please. So it doesn't live or inside the host. It doesn't depend on the host for the shelter or the reproduction, right? It only takes the blood, and that too temporarily. So that is why. So because only the female mosquitoes will take it for the egg development. So we do not consider them as the parasite. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay, so that's what you have to remember. So secondary host is human, and human is the one that is going to get the infection. Okay, right, that is going to get the infection. So I will start here with two flowcharts. Firstly, I'll start with this one. So here you can simply see female Anopheles mosquito having the malarial parasite. So which one will be the infective stage of that malarial parasite? I'll write it completely. Which one will be the infective stage of that malarial parasite? That infective stage is called as sporozoid, right? What do we call it? Sporozoids. Again, a previous year question, right? Sporozoid. So obviously that mosquito is going to bite the human. Okay, so while biting the human, obviously it will put a drop of saliva through that the malarial parasite, the sporozoids, which are the infective stage, which is again a previous year question. It will enter in the blood for around half an hour, right? For around half an hour, it will be there in the blood only. Then it will find its way to the liver. So in the liver, you know that, right? Hepatic globules are there having the hepatic cells. So basically the sporozoids will enter in that cells. It will start growing there. It will acquire a circular shape. There will be different stages that we will see. But yeah, they are the asexual stages. Okay, what are they? They are the asexual stages. So these sporozoids, they'll grow here, they'll divide here, they'll increase their number, they'll multiply, they'll show multiple fission here, they'll just increase their number. After that, what's going to happen, beta? After that, from that liver, these merozoids, they'll release. It's not like that all of them. I will not enter in that depth, but yeah, whatever is required for your exam, we will discuss that. So what is going to happen, that these merozoids, they'll from that liver cells, they will just find their way to the blood. Like that cell will rupture, they'll release. But it is not like that all the merozoids will start infecting. Some of them will be stored there, right? That is why if a person is having malaria, there are high chances that they can get the infection again. So these merozoids, they will start infecting they'll start infecting the RBCs. They'll start feeding on it, right, students? There will be different stages that we will see. But again, it is again the asexual stages. This is not the sexual reproduction. That is why human is the secondary host. It is not the primary host. So you can see signet ring stages there. Again, a trophozoite will form. So that particular, right, these merozoids, these trophozoites, they'll feed on that hemoglobin part again. And then what are they going to form? They'll form the hemozoin. So this hemozoin is actually the toxin, students. This is again a PYQ. Once this hemozoin forms, once it will get released from this RBCs. Once this toxin is there in our body, then there will be what? Onset of fever and chills will be there. Right, onset of fever and chills will be there. So you can see the hemozoin will form, right? Then slowly schizont forms will be there. Then again merozoids, they'll rupture from the RBCs, they'll further infect the RBCs. Obviously person will get anemic as well, right? So, and this is not just the signet stage. You discuss about the amoeboid rosette stage. One by one we'll cover it. So firstly, just have an outline of it. Then what is going to happen, students? These like RBC, they'll be ruptured because they are feeding on that, right? Feeding within this RBC. So obviously this toxin material will form. And what happens is that in some cases, right, obviously by this time hemozoin has formed, the person will start getting the fever and the chills. And of course the immune system will also fight with it. Plus that person will also take the medicines. Are you getting my point? That person will also take the medicine. So now, even the parasite, they are smart enough. They know that now it's the time. If I really, these these pathogens, they are smart enough. They know that if we have to, right, we have to. And for mosquito, we cannot use the word parasite, but here we can, right? For the plasmodium, we can. So now they are smart. They know that if we have to survive, then what will they do? So what is going to happen in some of the RBCs, right? In some of the RBCs, they will not, these RBCs will not get destroyed, but rather than these merozoites, they'll start developing there. And what is going to happen, students? Then in some RBCs, the gametocytes will form. These are not the gametes, these are the gametocytes, gamete forming cells, right? There will be male gametocyte, there will be female gametocyte. Okay, male and the female gametocyte will be there. Are you getting my point? Male and the female gametocyte will be there. So these are the gametocytes, they will form the gamete. Okay, these are the gametocytes, they will form the gametes. Okay, but these gametes, they cannot further develop in the human body, because human's body temperature is not suitable for the development of these gametes. So there will be no sexual stage in our case, but yeah, the gametocytes, they form here in the human blood only. So now if the female mosquito, female Anopheles bite that human being again, then when mosquito, when it will suck the blood, then obviously with that blood, the gametocyte will pass to the mosquito's body. Then what's going to happen within the mosquito's body, because that is suitable for the sexual stages. So from male gametocyte, that is from the macrogametocyte, macrogamete, that is male gamete will, from macrogametocyte, the macro means large, yeah, megagametocyte, the female gamete will form, and from the microgametocyte, the male gamete will form. Now this male and the female gamete, of course, they'll fuse, right? And we will have ookinete, which we also call as vermicule, like worm like it is. This is the shape of this zygote here, because this zygote is motile, this is movable here. Also the word vermicule is used for it. So now see, because female mosquito has sucked the blood, then obviously this zygote, this vermicule or ookinete, it will find its way right here in the stomach of this, in the outer lining of this, right, in the covering of this, basically we can say that the wall of that alimentary canal here. So you will see this ookinete will enter here, right? Then it will assume this rounded structure. Then again it will multiply, it will increase its number, right? These sporozoites will be formed, and then they will pass to the salivary glands, and then again the cycle will be repeated. So this is how the life cycle of malarial parasite works. Is that clear? Is that clear? This is how the life cycle of malarial parasite works. Is that clear? Yes or no? Yes, gametocytes, they'll form in the RBCs. Okay, they'll form in the RBCs, beta. Gametocytes are what? Gametocytes are the gamete forming cells. Okay? Okay? Understood? Sure? Any doubt? Okay, any doubt? So this is how it is. So this is a kind of, I would say, this is the kind of idea, the outline that I have given you. I'll write all the points, but firstly you understand that, because it is given in our syllabus in detail. So you tell me up to this part all clear? Right? So again, let's read this from the NCERT as well. So here you guys can see, when the mosquito bites another human, sporozoites are injected with bite. So that is MCQ. Which one is the infective stage of the malarial parasite? I'll write the question here. Infective stage of malarial parasite. So infective stages, what is the answer? It is the sporozoite. Understood? Then what's the next part? You can see parasite reach the liver through blood, of course. The parasite reproduce asexually here. So actually students, malarial parasites, this plasmodium life cycle, na? When you talk about the life cycle of plasmodium, we discuss it in 3 ways, right? We will talk about the schizogony, then then gamogony, then sporogony. That's how we discuss it. So schizogony, it is pre-erythrocytic schizogony. Here, these, schizon, these structures, they form. Gamogony, where we will see the formation of gametocytes, right? Gametocytes will form or gametes will form. So we know that this gamogony, it starts in, just now I told you human, but is completed in mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito. Right, it is completed in female Anopheles mosquito. This part, sporogony, again in the female Anopheles mosquito. This one, human. Okay, right? So that is how we discuss it. So basically this part, the asexual stage, this is what we are discussing. So see, parasite reproduce asexually in the liver cell. It will burst the cell, release into the blood. And as I said, not all the merozoites are going to infect the RBC. Some will be stored there in the liver cells only. It is just like a stock, right? Then what is going to happen? This parasite will reproduce again asexually in RBCs, bursting the RBCs, causing cycle of fever and other symptoms release, right? You know that hemozoin has to release. Then in some RBCs, we know that the sexual stages, the gametocyte formation will just start, but it will not be completed because human temperature is not suitable for that. Okay, human temperature is not suitable for that. After that, what's going to happen? When the, again, mosquito will bite the gametocytes, right? The gametocytes with the blood meal, they will pass to that particular mosquito. Then the fertilization and development will take place in the mosquito's gut. Again, another MCQ. Where will it occur? In the mosquito's gut. Then you will further move. Now here you can see, right, the ookinete, which is the zygote here, or also known as vermicule, it will form, right? So you'll see that it will be there in the mosquito's alimentary canal, in the walls there. It will become rounded, and then we'll call it as oocyst, further divide. So see, mature infective stage, sporozoite will escape from the gut, migrate to the mosquito salivary glands, and again the infection occurs. So even the NCERT part is also completed. The extra part is also completed. Now we'll write the notes here. Okay, so just have a look. Okay. Right? Sure? Right? Any doubt? And it is the gametogony. You write it as gametogony, okay? So gametocytes will form. Is that clear? Right? So schizogony. So these are the three words that I have used. So when it is the schizogony, it is in the human, right? And it is like this, pre-erythrocytic schizogony, or also known as exoerythrocytic schizogony. Then comes what? Erythrocytic, which will be there in the RBC. So as I said, it is just the asexual reproduction. What exactly is happening? So you know that in the liver, what will form? Merozoites will form, right? They are of like they are of small size and the large size. Then they affect the RBCs, in which you will see there are different stages, and even the trophozoites they form. Okay, then starts the gametogony. Starts in humans and completes in female mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito. Okay, so gametocyte in the humans, gametocytes, male and female gametocytes form. Am I clear? Male and female gametocytes form. Okay, so it is again. Then after that, there will be the sporogony. That will be in mosquito, of course. Any doubt? Quick. Any doubt? Right, so gametogony part, which is in mosquito, that is the sexual reproduction. Then sporogony is again the asexual reproduction. Okay. Okay. Done, students? So it is again the asexual reproduction. Starts in humans. So this is asexual phase. This is the sexual phase. That's it. So zygote here is, only these are the points which are required for you. Eukaryote or vermicule. This one is motile, that is movable. Penetrates mosquito's gut wall. Form oocyte, then fission, then sporozoid. That's how it works. Understood? Any doubt? Yes, please. Any doubt? Sure? So, I don't know. I have just added that. I've added a, guys, I have added a, this flow chart for you. Just let me check once, because that will help you to revise it very quickly. Just allow me 1 minute. Okay, just allow me 1 minute. I've added that for you all. But now I'm not able to see it there. Just 1 minute. That's, I have added it in another PDF, but that is okay. Okay? Yeah, I have added it in another PDF, the entamoeba diagram and all. So don't worry, I'll share that too. By mistake, I have added it there. Okay? No problem. Done? So I'll show you it then. So there is a flow chart that I have added for it. Okay, so you can just revise it from there. So that is it. This is about the malarial parasite. So let's complete it from the NCERT part as well, right? And then Entamoeba histolytica we will discuss. So here you people can see Entamoeba histolytica, but let's discuss it later. First, let's complete it. So this is the NCERT portion, guys. So they have clearly mentioned that Plasmodium, it's a tiny protozoan responsible for the malaria. There are different species responsible for this. But what we have to remember, kindly underline it in your NCERT, the malignant malaria. Who's going to cause that? Plasmodium falciparum. It is the most serious one and can be fatal, can damage the brain as well. So yes, it is again the PYQ. So it is the falciparum. Okay, falciparum. Beta ascaris is already done. So Plasmodium enters the human body as sporozoid. Again, previous year question. And female Anopheles mosquito, that is the primary host here. That is the primary host here. Done. Next is parasite initially multiply with the liver cell, attack the RBC, all done. So toxic substance that will release is hemozoin. That is again of PYQ, and that is responsible for chill and the high fever. Okay? Chills and the high fever. Next. Okay, so sporozoids, they'll form in that gut wall, then they'll go to the salivary glands. So they'll store it there. This is important MCQ. So fever can occur from 3 to 4 days. It varies from species to species, and there are different stages that forms in the RBCs, right? Just say we also talk about the signet ring stage, rosette stage. So that stages, through that stages also, you know, we compare, we see that the person is having this malaria or not. Okay, so when these mosquito bite the human, so that's it, 2 hosts are there. So this is from the NCERT portion. Understood? So diagram part is also done, and this part is also done and dusted. So then is the entamoeba histolytica. Okay, entamoeba histolytica, that causes what? Amoebiasis, amoebic dysentery. So again, students, it is also a monogenetic host, right? And it is also a monogenetic host, and it lives in humans' large intestine. Okay, so these are the the point things that I'm mentioning here. So it lives in what? Human large intestine. That's it. So, and it is having two, actually this entamoeba is having 2 forms. One is magna or another is minuta. So this one cause disease, and here it is the quadrinucleated. Quadri means a tetranucleated cyst that enters in the body through contaminated water, that causes infection. Okay, that causes infection. So you can simply write it in your NCERT. Okay, just do it. So it is a quadrinucleated cyst that causes the infection. So just write it. Quick. So it is a cyst which is the infective form, quadrinucleated, having 4 nucleus, right? So through contaminated water it enters in our body, and cyst wall will dissolve inside the ileum. Then beta, it will form the trophozoites, right, which will further divide, and then further in large intestine they will just multiply by binary fission, and the infection will occur. So in detail, its life cycle is not required for our body, but yeah, for our exam. But yes, you should remember the quadrinucleated part. Just do it. You should remember the quadrinucleated part. So it is the infective stage. That's it. Or Baki, this is regarding the general things that the personal that we should maintain the hygiene if we really want to prevent the disease like dengue, malaria, or we should avoid the places where we should not let the breeding of the mosquito happen. Like let's suppose sometimes, see, when we use that coolers also, right, in that also water is there, so that can act as a breeding ground for the mosquitoes. So we should avoid it. We should use that mosquito sprays as well, right? Wherever there is the stagnant water, that acts like a breeding ground. Wherever there is litter or something like that, right, that can also act like that. If we'll basically destroy that places, mosquitoes will not be able to do what? They will not be able to breed. That's how we can prevent it. If anybody is having malaria, if that person is even hospitalized or even at home, we should make sure the mosquitoes should not be there. Okay, so we can even stop its spread as well. Done. So there is a gambusia fish that feeds on mosquito larvae. That can also be used. Okay, so this is important. You can just write it here. Done, students? So that is it. And yeah, it is given here. So look at this, gambusia in the ponds that feed on the mosquito larvae, spraying of insecticide in ditches. So that is it. This is the MCQ. And even in the NCRTC, polio, diphtheria, pneumonia, and tetanus is given. I told you already about their causative agents as well. And as per this, the advancement in the biological sciences have armed us to effectively deal with many infectious diseases. Use of vaccines and immunization program have enabled us to completely eradicate a deadly disease like smallpox. So it is eradicated. So that's it. So whatever points I have highlighted, right? Whatever points I have highlighted, they are just sufficient for all of you. Okay, guys. So that is it, right? That will complete your topic. So if you follow this lecture, there is nothing extra that you have to do. Okay. So next part that we have to discuss is we will talk about the HIV virus or the AIDS. Understood? Okay, done. So next is the AIDS that we have to discuss. So this is the structure of the virus. We'll come to this. So AIDS, firstly, AIDS stands for what? It stands for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. It stands for what? Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. What is the term or the word that you are using here? You are using the word acquired immunodeficiency, right? Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So one by one we will discuss it. Firstly, it is acquired, means it is not something that we are inheriting, right? In our lifetime we have acquired this disease. Immunodeficiency, it simply means that immune system is not working, right? It simply means immune system is not working. When you are talking about the syndrome, syndrome means a group of symptoms, right? There are so many symptoms here. Okay, there are so many symptoms here. Okay, so what is the problem with this disease? That it is basically, you cannot say that it is not a congenital, not a congenital. What is the meaning of congenital, students? Congenital means it is not by birth. Okay, it is not by birth, but it is something that we have acquired during our lifetime, right? So immune system is not functional, and you just imagine it once that if our immune system is not functional, right? You just imagine it once that if our immune system is not functional, so what do you think? Right? What do you think? If immune system is not functional, do you think we will be able to survive? We will not be able to withstand. We will not be able to withstand a simple cold. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Okay. Yes, please. So we will not be able to survive. Okay. So syndrome means group of symptoms. Okay. So this is what you have to remember first. So this particular disease is caused by, it's a disease, but it is caused by virus. You know it, HIV. So it's a AIDS PYQ. Right, it's the AIDS PYQ. So AIDS, remember, it's a disease. Okay, HIV, it's the pathogen that causes that disease. So human immunodeficiency virus, that's what we have. Okay, so that is what the HIV is. So it is a retrovirus. Do you know that? What is the meaning of retrovirus? So it is having the RNA, single stranded. SS means single stranded RNA is the genetic material. As we also talk about the reovirus, that is having double stranded RNA. So here we are talking about the retrovirus. So it is retrovirus means it is having what? It is having the single stranded RNA. Is that clear? Is that clear? Sure? Done. So initially it was thought, if you read about its history, na, so AIDS was discovered in around 1981 in homosexual individuals in USA. Then in 1986, first case of AIDS was reported in Chennai in India. Okay, so initially it was believed, right, it was not even named as AIDS by then, that homosexual individuals, right, homosexual, homo means same, those who are having the same sex. So homosexual individuals, when they are involved in the meeting or something like that, so basically when they are having the sexual contact, then they just get the disease. Initially it was believed, but later on cases came where heterosexual individuals, they were also affected with the AIDS. So in 1986, the first case of AIDS was reported in the Chennai. Okay, so if you read about its history now, you'll find different aspects there. Okay, so later on it was found in the heterosexual individuals as well. So as you know, HIV, what is it? It is a retrovirus, single-stranded RNA it is having. Look at its structure. So you'll see the two strands of single-stranded RNA. Firstly, have a look. Can you see the proteins here? Like firstly, see, whenever we talk about a virus, okay, let's have a basic introduction of virus as well, then we'll discuss it further. Just a minute. See, whenever you talk about a virus, you know that it is something like it is acellular. It is acellular. So firstly, virus, it is acellular, and it is even an obligate parasite. When I'm saying obligate parasite, it is specific for its host. It needs a particular host only, right? And virus is considered as a connecting link between non-living plus living individuals. Why is it so? Because outside the body, outside the host's body, it is just an inert crystalline protein, isn't it? That's it. And within the living body, it acquires host machinery and divide, right, or increase its number. It uses the host machinery and divide and then increase its number. When we are talking about what? When we are talking about the virus. Now, viruses, they can be enveloped, which are having the, lipid layer around them. They are non-enveloped as well. And students, they are having the DNA. They can have the RNA as well. Mostly RNA viruses we see in the case of plants. We are not saying always, but mostly RNA viruses in the plants, and in the human, DNA viruses are there. But in humans or in the animals also, RNA viruses, they also cause the infection. RNA virus is more dangerous. Why is it so? Because RNA, you know that it will mutate immediately, right? So one strain will, if there is one strain, then mutation will be there. It can result in another strain as well. Then further, like mutations are very fast. Because RNA, we know that it is unstable, right? So mutations are at a very fast rate in the case of this these RNA viruses, and that is the why when we talk about the COVID-19, so that is also the RNA virus. In that case also mutation was there. So because of these very frequent mutations, what happened, let's suppose if you are working on that particular disease, you are working on that particular pathogen, you are just trying to figure out its structure, you're trying to figure out its mechanism, the way it affects the host, so it will mutate immediately. So it is difficult to stop that thing as well. So that is why. But yeah, RNA viruses, because they just mutate, then they just get weaker as well. That is also the case. So HIV is also like that, plus it is the enveloped virus. How come enveloped virus? You can just simply see this particular diagram. So when you look at this particular diagram, can you see that outside there is a lipid envelope? That's why I am saying it is an enveloped virus, right? It is also having the outer lipid membrane. Plus, if it is a virus, it is nucleoprotein entity. It will have the nucleic acid plus the protein coat as well, right? Like whenever we will talk about the virus, it will contain what? It will contain the nucleic acid, plus it will also contain the protein coat. Like here, when I'm talking about the RNA virus, I'll see that the genetic material is RNA. The genetic material is RNA. Plus, along with that, what you people will see, you will see that outside see this. So you'll see outside the Firstly, the nucleic acid. Just let's suppose if this is the nucleic acid, and of course here we are talking about the RNA. So outside that, can you see that this is the capsid, right? This is the capsid, and the monomer here is going to be capsomere. So two protein coats you are going to see. Then there is the lipid envelope where you will see the transmembrane proteins as well. We'll talk about it. But firstly, understand the basics here, right? So obviously here there will be another enzymes also, right? Because it is a retrovirus. So here you will also see the reverse transcriptase as well. Okay, reverse transcriptase as well. Okay, so right, so reverse transcriptase as well. So just have a look. So imagine it in this way. Just imagine I am the genetic material of a virus. Just imagine it in this way. So I am the genetic material of a virus, like I'm standing in a room that is having the walls, of course. So you can imagine it in this way, that I am the genetic material. These walls are just like a capsid, right? These walls that are protecting me, they are just like a capsid. So you know that when we talk about these walls, they are having the bricks. Bricks are going to make these walls. Same is the case here. So capsid is the protein coat. Capsid is the protein coat, and the monomer of that protein coat is capsomere. So many capsomeres, they join, they form the capsid that is protecting the genetic material here. So there are viruses in which we do not see this lipid envelope. They are also considered as the naked virus. The viruses which are having this lipid envelope, we call it as what? We call it as enveloped virus. Okay, what do we call it? We call it as enveloped virus. That's what you have to keep in your mind. So HIV is an enveloped virus. So you guys can see this here. So here you can see the glycoproteins, the transmembrane glycoprotein. This one is the docking glycoprotein. GP means glycoprotein. What is the meaning of GP here? GP means glycoprotein. So GP120 is there, GP41 is there, right? Right. So GP120 is there and GP41 is there. So when you talk about these glycoproteins, so I'll write it here. Just say GP120. Okay, it is basically a kind of docking protein. Docking protein. So what is the meaning of being a docking protein here? So basically you'll see that this GP120, it is having the complementary sequences. Right, look at this. GP120, look at this. See, firstly look at the structure here. See, transmembrane part is the GP41, this docking glycoprotein GP120. So it is having the complementary sequences of CD4 receptors present on macrophages. Is that clear? Present on what? Present on macrophages. Now, how can I explain this? Just say you know that even if you talk about the hormone action in our body, you know that if they have to enter in our body, so obviously if this is a cell and cell is having the plasma membrane, we know that even plasma membrane, it contains the receptor, and I'm talking about the hormones right now. Even the plasma membrane, it contains the receptors, and sometimes receptors are within the nucleus. So basically if this hormone has to enter in the cell, so it should join with the receptors present on the plasma membrane. If the compatibility is there, then obviously the action will start. So same way, I'm just trying to tell you here that, like, let's suppose viruses initially, why am I talking about the introductory part here? I told you that outside the body, they are just the non-living thing. This is just an inert crystalline structure or protein, but inside the body it is living, because it will hijack the host machinery. It will use host enzymes, right? So how can it use it? Firstly, it has to enter in the host body. Are you getting my point? Firstly, it has to enter in the host body, and for that, what is that entry point for the case of this HIV? So GP120, as I said, it is the docking protein. It is having complementary sequences to the CD4 receptors present on the macrophages. virus. So what are macrophages? Obviously, they are the cells present in the body. They are also considered as HIV factory. Like these macrophages, inside these macrophages, this virus will enter, will hijack it, will use it to multiply its own number. That's why it is considered as the HIV factory. So macrophages, they are what? They are the phagocytotic cells. Obviously, they are present in our body, right? Monocytes, WBCs, they join, they become giant, they form these macrophages, right? They form this macrophages, right, beta? Yes? Understood? So that is how it is. So this is what you have to remember. Okay, so because this GP120, it is having the complementary sequence to CD4 receptors, right? And even not just the CD4 receptors on macrophages and the helper T cells as well. Okay, and the helper T cells as well. So it will help this virus to enter here in these macrophages, will use it as the HIV factory, will increase its number and will start infecting, will start destroying these helper T cells of our immune cell. They are obviously the type of WBCs only, so that our immune system will get weakened. So this is how it works. Is that clear, beta? This is how this works. This is how this AIDS and everything, this is how this HIV virus works. So any doubt here? So here you can see the enzyme reverse transcriptase is there. So why am I specifying this enzyme? Because basically, see, in HIV virus, enzyme reverse transcriptase help to form complementary DNA, that is cDNA, from this RNA, which is the genetic material of HIV. So that is how it works. Is that clear? So any doubt so far? Yes, please. Any doubt so far? Quick. Any doubt so far? The role of reverse transcriptase clear? So there is a very popular drug which is given to the zidovudin, that is, which is given to the patient having the HIV or which is having AIDS. So this is actually this reverse transcriptase inhibitor. Okay, it is basically this reverse transcriptase inhibitor. Got it? Beta, GP120 is that protein. It is that docking protein which is present in that lipid envelope. Just the part which is there within that lipid envelope is the transmembrane part, GP41, GP120, because it is having the complementary sequences to the macrophages. It's like a key and a lock, right? If you know that a particular key will fit in that lock, it is something like that. So GP120, they can just fit to the CD4 receptors present on the macrophages or on the helper T cells. So that is how it works. Understood? That is how it works. So structure clear. So other proteases, peptides, they are present. Reverse transcriptase is present. Capsid, I told you, two protein coats are present here which are protecting the genetic material, and here you can see the lipid envelope as well. Okay, so let's have a quick revision. So how can it spread and everything? So as we have already discussed, AIDS stands for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So syndrome is what? Yes, please repeat it again. It's the group of symptoms. The more you will revise, the more you'll retain, guys. So it is the group of symptoms. So immune system is not working because immune cells are affected here. Macrophages, those who are supposed to protect us from the infection, they will act like HIV factory. Helper T cells, we'll discuss their role in immunity part. So helper T cells, they are very important for our immune system. They will get destroyed. Their number will get be affected, right? So imagine when these cells are not working fine, then how can we suppose our immune system to work? So it is like that. So here, so it is the deficiency of immune system and it is acquired during the lifetime. It is not a congenital disease. Congenital means by birth. Okay, so it has killed more than 25 million persons, so caused by HIV, already told you, which is a retrovirus. So it is having the single stranded RNA, 2 strands of single stranded RNA. So when it comes to the transmission of this HIV infection, students, so it will occur by a sexual contact with infected person. Let's suppose one person is infected, right? If that person will have unprotected sexual intercourse with another healthy person, and there is an exchange of the body fluids, then definitely the infection will spread from one person to the another. This is what you have to keep in your mind. Okay, so that is why we also discuss it in the STI, sexual transmitted infections, or also known as reproductive tract infections, or also known as venereal disease. So there also in the chapter reproductive health we discuss it. Okay, then by sharing the infected needles, as in the case of intravenous drug abusers, they get it, like let's suppose one person is infected, that person is using a syringe or the needle, another person is also using the same, so of course, right, of course the infection will spread by sharing the, yes beta, so infected needles even from the infected mother to her child through placenta. So yes, this question, right, MCQ can come from this part as well, that whether the AIDS will pass from the infected mother to the child. Yes, through placenta. Okay, through placenta, right? So if there is that, it is not something that will spread from the touch. If you're sitting with a person having the AIDS, no, one should not do it. One should encourage them, motivate them, but it is a kind of taboo, so people look at them in a different way, because when it comes to the AIDS, this it also spread when a person is having multiple sexual partners, and when they are having the unprotected sexual intercourse, right? So that is why the condoms are always advised to, first of all, it should not be like the sexual contact with multiple partners, it should be avoided. And if anybody is having that, they should wear the condoms, because condoms, they protect from the AIDS. It is again a PYQ. Okay, students, so here you can see, right, so see, the transfusion can occur. Obviously, in the case of blood transfusion also, this disease will spread, and transfusion can occur in different ways. That is why, if I don't know whether you have noticed or not, if a person is hospitalized, and even if they have to go for the surgery, and if they have to be in the hospital, so doctors, they also check the HIV part, right? They also check this, they also confirm it. Okay, so as I said, it will not spread by physical contact, will only spread through the exchange of the body fluid. Okay, right? And when it comes to the incubation period, it can be, so see, from few months to many years. So usually 6 months to 10 years. And see, one more thing is there. Let's suppose if somebody is HIV positive, right? Somebody is HIV positive. It doesn't mean that that person will get the AIDS immediately. Like, somebody is HIV positive means they have this particular virus in their body. Obviously, it will take time. This is what the incubation period is. This virus will take time, will weaken the body's immune system. Then it will result in this group of symptoms, which we are calling as AIDS. You cannot say that at the first place, if somebody is HIV positive, then immediately we'll say, okay, that person got the AIDS. No, it is not like that. But yeah, with time, that person will be, because the immune system will be weakened. Okay, right? So now you can again see this image. So retrovirus, we know the meaning, right? This is having the viral RNA core, viral protein coat is there. It will infect normal animal cell. So viral RNA will introduced into the body, will enter in the body. So this viral RNA, when it is introduced in the body now, so this viral RNA will form complementary viral DNA by the enzyme reverse transcriptase. So yeah, if a person is having AIDS, right, there is no medicine that can cure that person, but yeah, the life can be prolonged. So I told you about the zidovudin, so that stops this reverse transcriptase as well. Now, once the viral DNA forms, how will it form? By using the host machinery. So this viral DNA, it will incorporate itself into the host genome, right? So new viral RNA is produced by this infected cell. New viruses are produced. So new viruses will further start infecting the another cells as well. So that is how these retroviruses, they use the, right? That is how these retroviruses, they use what? Yeah, they do what? That is why these retroviruses, they basically use the host machinery to multiply their numbers. So this diagram is explaining it clearly. Okay, students? Okay. Done. So after getting, so this is the data here. So after getting into the body of the person, the virus will enter into the macrophages. RNA genome of the virus will replicate here. So that is why initially I told you macrophages are what? They are the HIV factory. Again, an important MCQ it is. Okay, students. So this viral DNA will incorporate there. Macrophages will continue to produce the viruses, right? So HIV will also enter into the helper T lymphocytes, right? Helper T lymphocytes, where it will replicate, it will produce its progeny viruses. They will again release in the blood, again will attack the lymphocytes, and again that is how it is going to decrease. It is going to affect our immune system, right? The decrease in the number of helper T cells means our immune system is losing its efficiency. Got that? Right, students? Right, so during this period, the person will suffer from bouts of fever, diarrhea, and the weight loss. Okay, so when T lymphocytes, they are less, other pathogens, they'll be like, wow, we have the party in the human body, right? Its immune system is not working. So there will be many other pathogens that will come and that will be like, chalo, let's have a party in that particular human. So that person will get affected with many other disease because the reason is very simple. Immune system is not working. Got that? Immune system is not working. Got that? Right? So here you can see mycobacterium, viruses, fungi, and even parasites like toxoplasma, right? They'll enter in that human body, will cause the infection there. Okay. So now the diagnostic test for AIDS is enzyme linked immunosorbent assay, which we will discuss, right? But when it comes to the confirmatory test, you can simply write down, that is again a PYQ. So confirmatory test for AIDS will be Western blotting. That is again Western blotting. So that's what you have to keep in your mind. This is another important MCQ. Okay. So diagnostic test is the enzyme linked immunosorbent assay, but this is not confirmatory. Confirmatory test will be the Western blotting. So various antiretroviral drugs, they are provided. I have given you the example of zidovudin, right? So there are some protease inhibitors as well. Some other drugs are also there that will basically inhibit that enzymes. Okay, so screening test is the ELISA, or diagnostic screening or the diagnostic test is the ELISA. But when it comes to the confirmatory test, that is going to be your Western blotting. This is important. Write it down quick. Guys, quick. Beta, classes, we have just started 2 hours ago and now you are just crying for the break. Have some patience. Okay? So when it comes to preventing the AIDS, you know that, right? So blood transfusion with should be avoided, right, students? So blood transfusions, they should be avoided. One has to be the person has to be very they have to be very careful, right? Proper checking should be there, right, students? And as I said, the contact with multiple sexual partners, and having the sexual contact with them, it all should be avoided. Intravenous drug exchange, all that things, right? I mentioned it earlier. If we'll avoid that, we can stop it. Okay, we can stop it. Done. So rest, you know that 1st December is basically the AIDS Day. If you know it, very good. If you don't know it, please write down. So it is a National AIDS Control Organization, NECO, right? There are other non-governmental organizations. They are doing a lot to educate the people, right? One should not ignore them. One can be a support because it doesn't spread through the mere contact only. It spreads through the exchange of the body fluids. Okay. Right, so drug abuse can be the reason, blood transfusion can be the reason, sexual contact with multiple partners can be the reason. Okay, done. So see, making blood from the blood bank safe from HIV, ensuring the use of only disposable needles and syringes in public and private hospitals, free distribution of condoms, because obviously condoms, they also prevent this. So controlling drug abuse, advocating safe sex, and promoting regular checkups for the HIV in susceptible population. Okay, students. So this is how it can be controlled. So next part that we have to start is immune system. Okay, so fine, I'll give you the break, otherwise you people are going to eat my brain. Okay, so for how long you need the break? Half an hour? Half an hour? Chalo, theek hai. Break time till 8:50 p.m. So see you all then. All then. Let's discuss immune system afterwards. So this is important. See you all then. All the active, passive immunity, all the things will be discussed. Okay. Beta, study properly. Hi everyone, welcome back. Am I audible? Am I audible? Okay, so any doubt from the topics that we have covered so far? At the end, we are also going to read the NCERT. Let's have a quick revision, guys. So we started with the name of the scientist. Firstly, we started with the humor hypothesis. Right, this is what we have already discussed. Number one. Number two, we talked about the William Harvey, right, who disproved this theory and discovered the blood circulation. Then we were talking about the disease. So if I talk about the bacterial diseases, so can you just tell me the names? Yes, please. Cholera, Streptococcus pneumoniae, tuberculosis, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So diphtheria, plague, right? And other than that, which we didn't discuss, let me tell you here, syphilis, that is a reproductive tract infection, or I would say venereal diseases, a sexually transmitted disease, right? A sexually transmitted disease. So that is also called by a bacteria, that is Treponema pallidum, right? Treponema pallidum. I would like to add it here. Plus, there is gonorrhea as well, caused by Neisseria gonorrhoeae, tetanus, right? So this is what we have discussed. Any doubts? So this is regarding the bacterial diseases. Okay, we'll discuss the causative agents as well. Done? Yes, please. Okay. Any doubt? एक minute. Done. So cholera, Vibrio cholerae, tuberculosis. Hanji. So tuberculosis is caused by, pneumonia is caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae. Yes, tuberculosis is caused by TB. It's easy. Tuberculosis is caused by, yes, starts from, yes, please. It starts from, yes, please. Tuberculosis is caused by, guys, quickly answer it. I'll explain the doubts as well. Quick. I'll explain the doubts as well. But quickly answer it to me. The portion that we are going to start is very important. So quickly, firstly, let's have a quick revision. Explain it to me, everybody, quick. Yes, please. So basically, nobody is going to answer this, right? Yes, please. It's a very easy question. Tuberculosis is caused by TB. TB is caused by, guys, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Same, Mycobacterium leprae, Vibrio cholera, tetanus, Clostridium tetani, typhoid. Typhoid will be Salmonella typhi, and even paratyphoid by Salmonella paratyphi. Pneumonia, Streptococcus, Diplococcus, Pneumococcus, Haemophilus influenzae, Corynebacterium diphtheriae. So it will be caused by Yersinia pestis, right? So this is what we have to remember. So it should be on your fingertips. So please answer the questions, right? Let's make the session interactive. Do not chat unnecessarily here in the chat section. Otherwise, if you are not here to study something, then please leave the class, right? No need to waste your time. So this is what we have discussed. Then we talked about the viral diseases, fungal diseases, helminthic diseases. Now the portion that we have to discuss is we will talk about the immune system, right? See, immunity. So we will use some terms here first. Like when you talk about the immunity, right? Immunity, when it is the word, so basically it is the ability of our body to fight with the infection, isn't it? So what is this immunity here? So immunity is the ability of our body to fight with the infection. Like let's suppose if you use the word susceptibility, right? Like you are susceptible for something, you are prone for something, right? You are more prone to the infection. These are the terms which we are going to use here, right? So when it comes to the immunity, do you think that, what do you think? Do we have any by birth immunity? Yes, please. What do you think? Do you think that we have any by birth immunity? Yes, like we are immune to some things by some disease by birth only. Yes, we do. Okay, so this is what we have to discuss now. So what are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about the immune system here, right? And we are going to talk about the immunity, the types of immunity here. So when it comes to the immune system, see, like we have the digestive system, excretory system, reproductive system, same way we have the immune system as well. That is going to protect us from the disease causing organisms, that is going to fight with the foreign agents if there is any in our body. So when you talk about the immunity, because of the efforts of this immune system, we are immune, we are protected from the disease, and that is basically giving us the immunity. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? So this is what we have to discuss here. When you talk about the immunity, right, we have to divide it in, like there is a flow chart which we are going to make, or which we have to discuss. So when you are talking about the immunity, guys, there are two types basically that you have to discuss here. Okay, there are two types basically that you have to discuss here. Number one is a non-specific type of immunity, right? It is also the first line of defense. It is something which is innate. What is the meaning of innate? Innate means something which we are getting by birth. So firstly, we will talk about it, right? Non-specific type of immunity. So here you will discuss about the natural immunity. We'll also talk about the artificial immunity, right? And under this natural, we'll discuss about the active immunity. We will discuss about the passive immunity. Same as the case here. Here also you will discuss about the active immunity, and moreover, you will talk about the passive immunity. So another category that we have here is specific type of immunity. So specific type of immunity is also known as acquired. It is also known as adaptive immunity, and we consider it as the third line of defense. Okay, third line of defense. This is what we consider it. Are you getting my point? So what are we going to talk about? Types of immunity. The initial one is non-specific, right? The initial one is non-specific. Non-specific means it is in general, right? It is in general. Like for an example, here we will talk about skin, we'll talk about the mucous membranes, we'll talk about the various body secretions. So that is how we are going to start. So we have to decode each and every word written here, right? Active, passive, natural, everything we are going to cover. So let's have a discussion over it. So when you are talking about the immune system, so immune system is something that is protecting us from the various infectious agents, right, students? So study of immune system is known as immunology, and immune means, right, to exempt or to free. This is the meaning of immune, right? Exempt, right? Or freedom is there from something. This is the meaning of immune. Is that clear? So as I said, first thing that we have to discuss is non-specific type of immunity, which we are also calling as innate, or innate means by birth. Innate means what, beta? Innate means by birth immunity. So here types are there, right? Natural, artificial, everything is there. But before starting it, we are going to talk about the certain barriers which are given in our book, which are given in our NCERT. So when you are talking about that barriers, what are the things that you are exactly going to discuss? Like for an example, so this is what we are discussing, guys, non-specific immunity. So you will talk about the number one, physical barriers. Okay, physiological barriers, cellular barriers, or cytokinin barriers. So this is something that we will discuss. Are you getting my point? So physical barrier mein, you'll be talking about the skin, you'll be talking about the mucous membranes, right, which are lining our different systems. Physiological barriers, here you are going to talk about the body secretions. We'll talk about saliva, HCl, etc. Are you getting my point? Cellular barriers, you'll talk about the PMNL cells like polymorphonuclear leukocytes, types of WBCs that we are going to discuss here, right? Other than that, we will also discuss about the macrophages here, right, students? What are we going to discuss? We are going to talk about the macrophages here, right, students? Natural killer cells here. This is what we have to discuss. And at the end, what are we going? Macrophages here, natural killer cells here, right? And then you'll also talk about certain proteins. We'll take one example of interferon. So this is what we have to discuss. So what kind of question can come from this part? Yes, they can ask you, they can give you the option. They can ask you that out of the following, which one is the part of cellular barrier? Yes, cytokinin barrier. So obviously first thing that we have is, students, skin. The skin is the outermost covering. Skin is that largest gland also, right? It is the largest gland of our body as well. So what this skin is going to do? It is just like a outer protective layer. It will not allow anything to enter immediately in our body. And then in our body, within our body, we have the mucous membrane as well. And this mucous membrane is lining, right? This mucous membrane is lining our body organs. So it is also protecting us against various infections, right, students? So here you people can clearly see that first thing that we have to study is physical or anatomical barriers, right? Very first thing that we have to study is physical or anatomical barriers. And here we'll talk about the skin first, which is the outermost covering, which will prevent the entry of the foreign agents in our body, right? Which is going to do what? Which is going to prevent the entry of these foreign agents in our body. So stratum corneum, that is the layer that we are talking about. You know that this is the horny layer. This is the horny layer. This is having the cytoplasm. Right here, the cytoplasm is basically replaced by the keratin. Is that clear, students? Here, the cytoplasm is basically replaced by what? It is basically replaced by the, right? It is basically replaced by the keratin protein. Is that clear? Is that clear? Right? So they are the dead cells basically, right? So they have the tough structural protein, which we are calling it as keratin. So it is the outermost layer. So this is what we discuss first. Then mucous membranes form mucus that will trap and immobilize the microorganism, will not allow them to move. Then comes, students, then cilia is there. Obviously what that cilia will do, it will sweep that mucus loaded with microorganisms, right, so that it can come out. Like take the example of the trachea, right? When you talk about the trachea, which epithelium we discuss there? We talk about the pseudo means false, stratified means layered, pseudo-stratified columnar ciliated glandular epithelium. Are you getting my point? Glandular epithelium. So obviously if the mucous membrane is there, that will form the mucus. If there is any if dust particle is there, if mucus will form, the things will get trapped in it, then cilia will help to move that, right? So where will it go? It can just come out, isn't it? So sweep mucus loaded with microorganisms and dust particles into the pharynx or the throat, from where it is thrown out or swallowed, or can be eliminated with the feces. So this is the initial barrier, first barrier that we are talking. So mucus lining, right? It is mucus is basically these mucus lining, they are lining our respiratory system, the gastrointestinal system, urinogenital system, and that's how it helps. Next comes the physiological barrier, right? That will include the body secretions mainly, right? So body temperature, pH, there are different things that are going to basically, right, these body temperature, pH, and there are different body secretions that will prevent the growth of the microorganism. Like we talk about the fever, right? That fever means when our body temperature is high. So we think fever is something bad. Actually, when like a fever is also a kind of protective mechanism, because whenever there is any pathogen in our body is trying to fight with it. So it increases the temperature so that that pathogen can get killed. Right, so that is also the thing. Are you getting my point? So the acidity of the stomach, right? You know that HCl is there. Which cells are going to make HCl? Remember, class 10, oxyntic or parietal cells. So that will make sure, that will check the growth of microorganisms there. Then lysozyme, where is it present? It is present in saliva. It is again microbial, antimicrobial, right? So it present in body secretion, it digests the bacterial cell wall. So this is the role of the lysozyme, which is the antibacterial as well. So it is present in saliva, it is present in tears as well. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? Then vaginal bacteria is also there. You know, lactobacillus. So bacteria normally present in vagina, it produces the lactic acid, which will kill the foreign bacteria. So acid in stomach, saliva in mouth, tears from the eyes, they are going to do that. So even in the tears, right, you also talk about this antibody IgA as well, but they are having the lysozyme, tears, saliva. So that is how it protects as well. Is that clear, students? Then comes the cytokine barriers. Right. Then after that, we'll discuss the cellular barriers, cytokine barriers. Cytokines are nothing but the small molecules which was secreted, right, when there is the stimulus in the body for their synthesis. So it will include interferons given in our NCERT, right? Of course, very important for us then, right? Then lymphokines are also there. Then some interleukins are also there. So they are also protecting our body. Are you getting my point? So when you are talking about the interferons, they are produced in response to viral infection, right? They are produced in response to viral infection. Is that clear? They are produced in response to viral infection. So this is something which is very, very, very important. So guys, wherever I'm putting the MCQ, just please open your book, your NCERT, right? It is in accordance with the NCERT. Extra points that I'm telling you that you have to remember, please write it down in the NCERT only, right? Just pick up that short slips and just paste it there like sticky notes you can use. Later on, use this PDF, read the chapter from it, and then just pick up the important points only. Why am I doing this? Honestly speaking, I'm not at all comfortable in writing them, like showing you these slides and then to explain it to you. No, like I have that free flow when I write everything by myself, but we have to save your time as well. I want you to save the time. I want you to use that time for the further revision, right? I want you to use that time for the short notes so that you can practice more and more question, right guys? Yesterday itself, I think yeah, on Friday, I have posted a video regarding the strategy. You guys have 165 days, or I would say 164 days are left. 79 chapters are there, people. How many chapters are there? 79 chapters are there and 164 days are there. I have shared a detailed strategy and I told you this thing very clearly that it is the MCQ practice that we cannot skip. It is the short notes that we have to make. So that is why I'm giving you this. Right, this time I am spoon feeding you. Only reason is I want you people to save your time and to practice more. Practice more. You cannot skip the NCERT exemplar question. Today also we will solve it. Okay. So make sure whatever I am underlining, whatever I'm explaining as important, most important, please mention it in your book. Underline it in your book. Is that clear? So if you guys are clear with it, so I want to see some fire emojis in the chat section, guys. Quick. Just show me that. So virus infected cells, they releases the interferons, which is a glycoprotein that will protect unaffected cells. Both are important MCQs. That when will these interferons release? Right, they are the cytokine barriers. They will be released by the viral infected cells. They'll protect the another uninfected cells. So it is quick acting, but yeah, it is temporary. It is not something which is permanent. That is why this part, initial part, it is under the non-specific immunity as well. Okay, so these interferons, they are produced by the immune cells whenever there is any viral infection. Tumor cells are there, even when there are the parasites. Okay, beta. So they will prevent the viral infection and they will also activate the natural killer cells. Natural killer cells are the type of T cells. We'll discuss about it, and the macrophages. Okay, so this is how it works. Then comes the cellular barriers. Okay, then comes what? cellular barriers. So you know that WBCs, okay? You know about the WBCs. So WBCs means white blood cells. We are also calling them as leukocytes. So students, when you talk about the leukocytes, one is agranulocytes, another is granulocytes. These are the types. Okay, one is agranulocytes, another is the granulocytes. Agranulocytes, the trick is MLA. Here it is Benji. Like there was a cartoon, na, Ben 10. From that I remember Benji. So it means, MLA means monocytes, lymphocytes. They are agranulocytes. Their cytoplasm, it doesn't have any granule. Granulocytes, here it is basophil, here it is eosinophils, which are also known as acidophils, and then comes what? Then comes the neutrophils. Then comes what? Then comes the neutrophils. So students, when you talk about these WBCs, na, this monocyte, it is phagocytotic. Yeah, phagocytic in nature. It will engulf the foreign particle. Same for the neutrophils, right? They are also phagocytic. Yeah, phagocytotic. Okay, so it will engulf the foreign particle. If there is any foreign particle in the body, so obviously it is going to engulf that. That's what you have to remember. Okay, these two are the phagocytic, only rest are not. Okay, so when it comes to the lymphocytes, again, lymphocyte is the type of leukocyte only. Here you will talk about the B cells. Here you will talk about the T cells. So this B cells, they will form the antibodies. These T cells, they will form different cells that will again protect our body from the infection. So B cell will form antibody mediated immune system. This one will form cell mediated immune system. So they are the main cells. These lymphocytes are the main cells of our body, of our immune system. Are you getting my point? This is what you have to remember. So here I'm talking about the cells. As I said, monocytes, they are also phagocytotic in nature. Plus they will become giant. They form the macrophages. Another is the neutrophil. Now students, when you talk about the basophils, basophils are having, you know, kind of S-shaped nucleus, tri-lobed nucleus, and here you will see the nucleus is going to be multi-lobed. Are you getting my point? What sort of nucleus is going to be there? Multi-lobed. That's why these neutrophils are also known as PMNL. Means poly, means many, morpho, means form, nuclear, leukocytes, right? So that's what we discussed. This is the part of our cellular barrier. Right? They are the part of our cellular barrier. So here you can see phagocytic cells, cellular barriers, which are the WBCs, like your PMNL. I told you already, these are the neutrophils, right? They are the neutrophils. You can see that, right? The most abundant one, phagocytic one. Monocytes are also there. And then we talk about the natural killer cells, which is the type of T cells only, right? Which are the type of T cells only. Is that clear? Is that clear? Right? Next is macrophages in the tissue. They can phagocytose and destroy the microbes. I'll give you the example again. Just Kupffer cells. Where are they present? Liver. So this is the macro. These are the macrophages of liver. Okay. Other than that, you discuss about the histiocytes. What do we discuss? What else do we discuss? Histiocytes. They are also the macrophages of blood, or I would say connective tissue. And you might know about the microglial cells. They are the macrophages of nervous tissue. So this is what we have. Are you getting my point? This is what we have. Right, so these are the different macrophages present in our body. They are fixed, they are wandering as well, that are making sure, right, they are trying their best to protect our body from any sort of infection. Is that clear? Is that clear? So next is, so macrophages formed by enlargement of monocytes. Important point it is, guys. So fixed macrophages mein alveolar macrophages, histiocytes in connective tissue, Kupffer cells in liver, already provided you that information. Natural killer cells, they kill virus infected cell and some tumor cell. This line is important here. Okay, students. So these natural killer cells, they will kill that pathogen containing cell. So they form the perforins that will create the pores in that cell, right? Pores in the membrane of the target cell. The water will enter there, cell will swell, and it will just burst. That is how it works. Okay, granzymes also, this is the word that we use for it. Is that clear? Is that clear? So this is something that you have to remember. This is about the cellular barriers. So this is about the non-specific immunity. So in the non-specific immunity, guys, do remember, I'll write it again here. I'll write it again here. Sorry for this. Yes. So in the non-specific immunity, yes, quickly revise it with me and please write it as well. So as I said, you have physical barriers, you have physiological barriers, you have cellular barriers, and cytokine barriers. So it is innate, that is by birth. Okay, so these physical and physiological barriers, they'll form first line of defense. These two will form second line of defense. Like it happens in our country also, right? That obviously when there is the external disturbance, army, navy, air force, they fight. Then if there is internal, right, we have the different agencies, something like that. Is that clear? Is that clear? So this is what we have discussed so far. Right now, what are we going to talk? We are going to talk about the various other things that we also include. So this is as per NCERT, the physical barriers, physiological barriers, right, cellular barriers and the cytokine barriers. So is that clear? So interferon part is very important. After that, we will talk about the specific immunity or the acquired or the adaptive immunity. But before that, I would also like to discuss, students, the inflammatory barriers with you all. Just say inflammation is there in our body. So see, when there is any tissue injury, we know it very well. It can be because of any reason. It can be because of bacteria. It can be because of any trauma. It can be because of any kind of chemical, right? So obviously, some substance are released in the body that will make that area inflamed. Just say, for an example, if there is injured tissue, that will release histamines, right? So histamine is what? It's a vasodilator that will dilate the blood vessels, that will increase the blood flow there. Prostaglandins responsible for the contractions. So histamine, as I said, causes vasodilation of the capillaries of the small blood vessel. Permeability of these walls will increase. Leakage of fluid into the interstitial space will be there, and the large number of neutrophils, monocytes will migrate to that, and that's how they help. So these are the inflammatory barriers also that protects our body from the infection. Is that clear, students? Is that clear? So injured area will be red and warm, plasma will leak into that tissue spaces, toxins will be diluted, swelling will occur, and this is the inflammatory response. That's how it protects us from the infection. And for the fever, I told you, fever, it is also going to protect. So the chemicals or the agents, I would say, that causes fever, are called what? Pyrogens. So anything which causes the fever, it is having pyretic effect. Okay, so caused by toxins known as pyrogens. They are released by WBCs. They regulate the body temperature, right? So they moderate fever, stimulates the phagocytes, inhibit growth of microorganisms. But overall, we know that very specific type of, right? Very high fever is also dangerous, right? So next thing that we have to discuss is, students, specific immune system, which is also making the third line of defense, which is also called as acquired, or I would say adaptive immunity. Yeah, adaptive immunity. Is that clear? So this is the next that we have to discuss. Any doubt? Right? This is the next that we have to discuss. Any doubt? So PMNL clear? Adaptive or specific immunity clear? Yes, please. Yes, please. So what is the speciality of this particular immunity here? See, the very important thing that we have to discuss here is like what are the features? Why do we call it as the acquired or the adaptive immunity? See, the word specific is itself explaining, because this immunity, like here, there are certain properties that we have to consider, just as specificity. We'll talk about the diversity. We will talk about the discrimination between self and non-self cells. Plus, the very, very, very important thing that we have to discuss here is memory. This is what we are going to discuss in the specific immunity. These are the points. These are the pointers, guys, which we are going to discuss here in the specific immunity, like specificity. Right. When we are saying something is specific, when we are saying there is a specificity, like you can say that, again, that example, there is a particular lock and there is a particular key that is going to open that lock because they are specific to each other. If there is an enzyme that is going to act on a particular substrate only, right? Again, the example of specificity here. So what am I trying to tell you here? When we are saying something like this immunity is specific, means it will be for a particular pathogen, isn't it, students? It can differentiate various foreign organisms. This is the meaning of the specificity here. So what is the meaning of the specificity here? That it can differentiate, right? It can differentiate different pathogens or disease causing agents, right? This is what we are talking about. Now, when we are saying diversity, so we are talking about this thing that it is not specific for a particular type of pathogen only. It can basically recognize different variety of the foreign molecules or these foreign agents, right, beta? So it can differentiate, or I would say, so diversity. So it can act against various foreign molecules. Okay, plus what is the best part here? That due to this immunity, it will not destroy its own body cells, right? Like because of this immunity, these immune cells, they can recognize this immune system, it can recognize that this particular cell is of our body and this particular cell it doesn't belong to our body, because when we grow now, when we like our body, it develops from the zygote. When we divide, obviously there are certain particular receptors which are present on our cell, and that receptors, they ensure, like that receptors, they provide us the specificity. If there is any foreign agent in our body, right? If there is any foreign agent in our body that will not have that particular receptor, body will react against it, right? That is how it can discriminate between self and non-self cell. Plus it will keep a memory, right? It will keep a memory. It will recognize that that if there is any foreign agent, if it enter in our body twice, like after the first encounter, if it enters again, this immune system will have the memory, will destroy it immediately. So on the basis of that, we also discuss about the primary immune response and the secondary immune response. Are you getting my point? Primary immune response and the secondary immune response, because of this memory thing we get to know. Are you getting my point? Now, if I have to elaborate a bit between the self and the non-self cell, I'll give you a very common example of the blood transfusion. Let's suppose if my blood group is A, it simply means that my RBCs, they have A antigen, isn't it? So my body is not aware of B antigen, right? Like let's suppose if somebody will give me the B blood group, right? That B cells will have B antigen. Antigen, anti mane, gen means to generate, anti means antibody, something that generates antibody, something that generates immune response. So obviously if B antigen, B blood group, if it enters in my body is going to initiate the immune response. My body will start reacting against it. My body will form antibodies against this B blood group. So what is it? Our body is aware that this antigen, this particular antigen, it doesn't belong to us. So that is how our immune system is also having the ability. And it is, of course, it is the role of the immune cells, right? Because this B blood group is just like a foreign agent in our body. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? Yes, are you getting my point? Done? Any doubt? Are you getting my point? Done? Okay, so that's what you have to remember. So see, specific immune system. So this is what we are talking, and these are the important features, or I would say the characteristics here. Noted? Right, these are the characteristics here of this particular immune system, right? So is it clear? The meaning of this clear? Yes, everybody. The meaning of this clear? Be quick. Right, the meaning of this clear. So the next part that we have to discuss is humoral immune system. That is basically, now we have to talk about the components here, the components of immune system. So just to summarize this, what are we talking now? We are talking about the specific immune system, or a specific immunity, where we are talking about the acquired immune system, yeah, immunity, or where we will be discussing about the adaptive immunity. So that's what we have discussed so far. That's how you can make the short notes. So firstly, you will say that we have studied the characteristics there. What we have studied, guys, we have studied the characteristics here. We started with the specificity. We started with the specificity. We started with the diversity. We started with the discrimination between self and non-self cell, self and non-self cells, and then the most importantly, we talked about the memory. Is that clear? Then now we are going to talk about its components. What are we going to talk about? Its components. So when you are talking about the components, you'll see acquired, you'll see humoral immune system, which is also known as antibody mediated immune system. Are you getting my point? Which is also known as antibody mediated immune system. And the another part that we have is cell mediated immune system, CMIS. So this is AMIS, this is CMIS. That's what we have to discuss here. So once again, I'm repeating this, though already told you, here you'll talk about the B lymphocytes or B cells, and here, guys, you are going to talk about the T lymphocytes or T cells. That's what we have to discuss. Is that clear? That is what we have to discuss. So this part is clear to everybody. This is important. This immunity part is very important. Yes, people. This immunity part is very important. That is how you can even make your short notes. So go for it. Okay. Done?